Asia Wilson, the MVP of the WNBA, the greatest player in women's basketball that nobody cares about. She was called on tape a year ago.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point.
Preaching to, wagging her finger at, telling Kelsey Plum, her teammate, about her, white privilege and how Paige Becker understands it and blah, blah. Anyway, this old clip has gone viral this week.
And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
You know what's crazy? Aja Wilson, the WNBA superstar, is suddenly getting slammed from all sides. But why? It all started when she said something about Caitlin Clark that got everyone talking. Now the basketball world is in chaos, and Aja's career might be on the line. What exactly happened? The crazy part, this whole firestorm started with a single comment, not about jump shots or defense, but about something way more explosive. What Aja said next shocked everyone and had millions asking, did she just go there? You see, Aja Wilson didn't just make waves on the court. She dropped a bomb in an interview that sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark, the rising star who'd been making headlines left and right. So what exactly did Aja say? She went straight for the jugular, talking about race and privilege in basketball. Aja didn't hold back, saying, I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is.
One of the more interesting aspects of this fanhood is that some of the biggest supporters of Caitlin Clark are not whites. They're actually black males. But that's the issue, though. I don't understand this. Many of these people, like Asia, are so used to being able to dispense and force white guilt upon others. This has become, Jason, and tell me if you agree or disagree. This NBA playoff ratings dip post Caitlin Clark is the sports version of white flight and gentrification.
She was calling out the way players like Caitlin Clark were marketed and promoted. Now, the internet exploded. We're talking 25 million views in the blink of an eye. People were furious, calling Aja out for what they saw as a toxic mindset. Critics were saying she was trying to divide the sport, playing the victim card instead of celebrating other players' success. It wasn't just fans getting worked up, the whole WNBA was in an uproar. People were accusing Aja of trying to tear down Caitlin Clark's achievements just because she was white. The drama was everywhere. Social media, sports shows, you name it. But here's where it gets really wild. The Las Vegas Aces, Aja's team, they started slipping, their game was off, and everyone was pointing fingers at Aja's comments. It was like her words had cursed the whole team. Aja tried to explain herself, saying, it really is because you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet maybe that's something that people don't want to see.
The way this thing was going viral, like you said, Jason, and I saw the comments, which I was liberally retweeting on Twitter, there should be a hashtag now, Stop Asia Hate.
Let's start there. Is that a compliment that she understands her white privilege?
I mean, what is she really saying? Like, hey, white girl, you know what, you cracker-ass cracker? You have a lot of white guilt, and I approve. But it's amazing. But this is the problem that a lot of people have with Caitlin Clark fans and supporters. They don't buy into it.
She was talking about how black women in basketball often feel overlooked even when they're at the top of their game, but the damage was done. The conversation had shifted from celebrating great players to arguing about race and recognition. It wasn't just about Aja anymore. It was about the whole future of women's basketball. Now you'd think this would create bad blood between Aja and Caitlin, right? But here's the twist. Both of them came out and said there was no beef. Aja even praised Caitlin's talent and what she's done for the sport.
But to me, it was a message being sent to Caitlin Clark of like, you want to come into our league, this is how you need to be. And I think it's a message to Nike. I probably tend to think it wasn't even on accident. Knew she was being recorded, knew it would get out there. And it was, because I think this was a year ago, and it's gone viral now this week. Again, as I talked about last week, based off the Ethan Strauss deal, Asia Wilson has a signature shoe and logo with Nike. No one's gonna buy her shoe. So there's a mindset that Asia has to adopt to justify getting treatment she knows she doesn't deserve.
But let's be real, with all this drama, can things really be that smooth between them? This whole mess opened up a can of worms about visibility and recognition for black female athletes in the WNBA. It wasn't just about one comment anymore. It was about years of frustration bubbling to the surface. Just when you thought things couldn't get more intense, enter Caitlin Clark. This rookie wasn't just good, she was rewriting the record books. But as her popularity skyrocketed, it sparked a whole new debate. Was Clark's success exposing an uncomfortable truth about race and marketing in the WNBA? Caitlin Clark burst onto the scene like a supernova, leaving everyone in awe. We're talking about a player who's not just breaking records, she's smashing them to pieces. Her skills on the court, absolutely mind-blowing. She's got the kind of talent that makes even the pros stop and stare. But here's where it gets wild. Clark's not just dominating on the court, she's taking over off it too. We're seeing crowds like never before at WNBA games. People are lining up just to catch a glimpse of her in action. It's like she's single-handedly changing the face of women's basketball. Now, you'd think with all this attention, some players might get a little jealous, right? Especially with all the drama going on. But get this, Aja Wilson, the very player at the center of the controversy, had nothing but praise for Clark. She called her unguardable.
You hate it when they're here. You don't like their presence. Oh my God, look at what they're doing. They're so awful. Then when they leave, the Caitlin flight, oh my God, I can't, what do we do now? Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, it's a good analogy. Yes, it is.
And these players that are now complaining, if there are any, about the ratings, about being abandoned. Well, wait a minute. So that has become something that for them, that word, problematic. And it's also set up a cultural debate on the other side of the street. Many of you were the very same ones that was pointing the finger and saying you're racist and we don't want or need your support. So in theory, you're getting what you want and you should be happy for the lower ratings. So be careful what you wish for.
That's right, the superstar who just set the scoring record is saying Clark's unstoppable. But here's where things get complicated. Clark's massive success started raising some uncomfortable questions. People were asking, why is she getting so much attention? Is it just because of her incredible skills? Or is there something else at play? This is where the whole debate about race and marketing in women's basketball exploded. Some folks were saying Clark was getting special treatment because she's white. Others argued it was purely about her talent and the excitement she brings to the game. The WNBA found itself in the middle of a firestorm. On one side, you had people accusing the league of favoring certain players. On the other, you had fans and players alike defending Clark's right to shine. Here's the crazy part. Instead of this tearing the league apart, something unexpected happened. The WNBA commissioner stepped up. Big name players spoke out. They all came to Clark's defense, shutting down rumors of jealousy or unfair treatment. But did this actually help or hurt Aja Wilson's situation? That's the million-dollar question. On one hand, it showed unity in the league, players supporting each other, rising above the drama. But on the other hand, it kept the spotlight firmly on Clark, while Wilson was still dealing with the fallout from her comments. And let's not forget about the fans. They were watching all of this unfold, trying to make sense of it all. Some were choosing sides, others were just happy to see the sport getting so much attention. Through all of this, Clark kept her head down and let her game do the talking. She wasn't just living up to the hype, she was exceeding it. Every game, every assist, every three-pointer was like a statement. I'm here to play ball, not to get caught up in drama.
Clark's shoe, whenever that is released, comes out, they ought to call it the air suppression. Because basically, they are marketing Aja Wilson by suppressing anything having to do with the most popular player in the league.
Since you brought it up, I'm going to touch on it just for a bit. The ratings, I believe 2 Sundays ago with Caitlin Clark, she drew 1.8 million viewers on an NFL Sunday. I really do. And I think moving forward, I think that number is going to, as the playoffs continue on, I think that number is going to continue to come down.
I wonder, this actually needs to be studied. What other sports league has diminishing ratings as you get closer to the championship?
As Clark continued to shine, all eyes were on Aja Wilson. How would she respond to this rookie sensation stealing the spotlight? Turns out Wilson had an ace up her sleeve that no one saw coming. The next chapter in this WNBA saga, it's about to get wild. You'd think all this drama would have crushed Aja Wilson, right? Well, think again. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, Wilson stepped up her game in a way nobody expected. She's not just playing ball anymore. She's rewriting the whole narrative. Remember that controversy about race and privilege? Wilson flipped the script. She came out and said, people are just coming to see the product on the floor. Just like that, she shifted the whole conversation from drama to pure basketball. That's some serious damage control right there. But Wilson didn't stop at talking. She let her game do the heavy lifting. Against the Indiana Fever, she dropped 27 points. That's not just good, that's unguardable. It's like she took all that negative energy and turned it into fuel on the court. Here's where it gets really interesting. Instead of getting caught up in the me versus them mentality, Wilson started spreading the love. She's out there praising her teammates, saying stuff like, I don't get 0 points, obviously, without them passing me the basketball. It's not just about Aja anymore. It's about the whole team rising together. Now, you might be thinking, sure, she's playing well, but what about all that controversy? Well, here's the crazy part. That drama might have been the best thing to happen to the WNBA in years. All those heated discussions, they got people talking about women's basketball like never before. Suddenly, the WNBA isn't just background noise in the sports world. It's front and center. People who never gave it a second thought are tuning in, picking sides, and getting invested. It's like the whole league just got an adrenaline shot. But the real game changer? It's how Wilson and the other players are handling all this attention. Instead of letting it tear them apart, they're coming together. It's like they've realized they're all in this together, fighting for recognition and respect in a sport that's often overlooked. Wilson's not just saving her own reputation, she's helping set a new tone for the whole league. It's a story of resilience, unity, and rising above the drama. Every time she steps on the court now, it's not just about scoring points. It's about proving that women's basketball is more than just controversy. It's about showing the world what these athletes can really do. And you know what's wild? Fans are eating it up. They're not just watching for the drama anymore. They're sticking around for the incredible basketball. Wilson's journey from the center of a firestorm to a symbol of the sport's strength? That's the kind of story that turns casual viewers into die-hard fans.